It was a Tuesday. September 10th, 2025. In the small town of Lochbuie, Colorado, on a residential block called Poplar Street, human remains were found. This isn't the kind of thing that happens in Lochbuie. It's a quiet place. But this discovery would soon send a jolt through the community, because it brought an end to a mystery that had haunted them for 7 long years. The Weld County Coroner's Office was called to the scene. After their initial work, they made the identification. The remains belonged to Terri Ackerman. She was 56 years old when the news broke, but she had been just 49 when she disappeared, vanishing without a trace back in August of 2018. Let's go back to August 24th, 2018. It was a Friday. According to her husband, Terri was in her bed at 5 a.m. He left for the day, and when he returned, she was gone. It was as simple and as terrifying as that. He couldn't find her anywhere. He tried to call her, but there was no answer. Panic must have started to set in. He called the police to report his wife missing. When officers arrived at the Ackerman home, they found a scene that was both normal and deeply unsettling. It was as if she had just stepped out for a moment, but the things she left behind suggested something else entirely. Her cell phone was there, left on a table. Her wallet was also in the house, untouched. Her car sat in its usual spot, keys presumably nearby. These are the essentials of modern life, things you don't leave home without. The fact that all these items were left behind was an immediate red flag for investigators. It suggested she hadn't planned to leave, or if she had, she was in a state of mind where things like a phone and wallet didn't seem important. Either possibility was deeply worrying for her family and for the police trying to piece together a timeline. The details of her last known conversation also painted a complex picture. Her husband mentioned that she had been distressed. Specifically, she was upset about an upcoming commitment to babysit her grandchildren. This detail seems small, maybe even trivial, but in the context of a disappearance, every detail matters. Was this the kind of everyday stress that comes with family life, or was it a sign of something deeper? It was a clue, but what it pointed to was unclear. It added another layer to the mystery of her state of mind. Her family and friends knew she loved her grandchildren, which made the comment even more perplexing. On top of this, there was the issue of her health. Terri was managing mental health challenges. She was on medication to help her. This is a critical piece of information. A person's mental state can profoundly affect their decisions, their perceptions, and their actions. Could her distress and her underlying health condition have combined to create a crisis? It was a question investigators had to consider from the very beginning. It was a private struggle that was now a public part of her story. Once Terri was reported missing, the official search began almost immediately. The Lochbuie Police Department knew that the first 48 hours are the most critical in any missing person case. They launched a massive effort, pulling in every resource they could. They deployed drones, their cameras scanning the flat, open landscapes that surround the town. From the sky, they could cover vast areas of fields and grasslands, looking for any sign of a person, any piece of clothing, anything out of the ordinary. The quiet hum of the machines became a sound of desperate hope, a high-tech search for a human being. On the ground, the effort was just as intense. The police department didn't work alone. They coordinated with Rampart Search and Rescue, a volunteer-based team of experts trained to find people in difficult terrain. And then, there was the community itself. Neighbors, friends, and even strangers who had only heard her story on the news showed up to help. They formed search parties, walking shoulder to shoulder through fields and along dirt roads. They checked ditches, looked under bridges, and peered into abandoned structures. For weeks, the town was mobilized. Find Terri. But as days turned into weeks, and weeks turned into months, the initial flurry of activity began to slow. The large-scale searches were called off. Tips dwindled, and then they stopped. The case never officially closed, though. The discovery on September 10, 2025, happened at a house on Poplar Street. The details of how the remains were found haven't been fully released, but the location itself is significant. It wasn't in a remote field or a desolate wilderness area. It was right there, inside the town, on a residential street. This fact alone raises a host of new, troubling questions. How did she end up there? How could she have remained undiscovered for 7 years in a place so close to where people live their daily lives? The Weld County Coroner's Office took charge of the scene. Their job is meticulous, slow, and incredibly important. They had to carefully recover the remains and any evidence at the location. The coroner later confirmed the identity, and with that confirmation came a statement that offered little immediate comfort. The cause and manner of death were listed as pending. This means that, for now, they simply don't know what happened. Accident, medical event, or something else. The autopsy is the next crucial step. After 7 years, the process is more complicated. The condition of the remains can make it difficult to find definitive answers. It could take weeks or even months before the coroner's office can release their final report. So, while the discovery answered the question of where Terri was, the wait for more information continues. The family, having waited 7 years to find her, must now wait again for the science that might explain her death. The Lochbuie Police Department immediately reclassified the case. It is now an active death investigation. They are working closely with the coroner and other agencies to piece together a new timeline, one that ends on Poplar Street. They are re-interviewing people, looking at old case files with new eyes, and asking the public for help. They need to know if anyone saw anything unusual in that area back in 2018. Any small detail, any memory that seemed insignificant at the time, could now be the key that unlocks the entire case. The investigation has been reborn, with a new focus and a new tragic urgency. The news brought a wave of complicated emotions to the surface. For Terri's family, profound grief of a confirmed loss, but also a sliver of relief that she had been found. The uncertainty was over, but the pain was now sharper, more defined. Friends and family shared memories of the woman they knew. Kind, caring, loved her grandchildren. They posted photos of her smiling, a reminder of the life that was lost. The town of Lochbuie wrapped its arms around the family. Condolences, support, a shared sense of sorrow. Candlelight vigils were held, memorial candles and flowers at a tree. This case forced a necessary conversation about mental health. Terri's struggles were part of her story. The community started talking more openly about mental wellness. Local support groups sharing resources. There is hope that increased awareness might prevent another loss. As the community grieves, the investigation presses on. Police will not rest until they have answers. They have promised transparency and to release new information when able. They are asking, pleading for anyone with information to come forward. Did you live on or near Poplar Street in 2018? Did you see or hear anything around August 24th of that year? Even a minor detail could be the missing link investigators need. This story is a heartbreaking reminder of human fragility and the deep need for community. A single disappearance can leave a hole in the fabric of a town, a hole that can't be mended until the truth is known. For Terri's family, the path to healing will be long, paved with unanswered questions. They wait for the coroner's report. They wait for the police investigation to yield results. They wait for justice, or at least for closure. And as they wait, their community waits with them, holding a light in the darkness, remembering Terri, hoping for answers. If you know anything, please contact the Lochbuie Police Department.